Hey, everybody. Ladies, have you ever felt a lack of confidence in your life, not knowing who you want to be, how to find your voice, and have everything that you want? Well, this show is all about helping you find your voice, getting that confidence back up with a little Latina twist. So let's get Latin, let's get loud. Here we go. Hey, everybody, ladies, mujeres, welcome to the Let's Get Latin show. So excited. This is a spicy motivational show podcast that's going to help women find their voice and find who they truly are. I am so excited to be here and to be your host, but even more excited to introduce my co-host, my amazing little sister, Diana Quinones. Hey, how are you? So excited to have you here.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited because I came to you probably about a few weeks ago and was like, listen, I want to do a show. Okay. So I'm starting my own coaching program and helping women find their voice, find their confidence again, and kind of learn who they are. Sometimes whether they've never learned who they are for the first time in their life, or maybe they've lost it due to a relationship or their children or just their own life. Life changes them. And I said, hey, I really want to do this, but I didn't want to do it alone. So I asked you to do this with me. So I want to ask you, what made you want to do this show with me?
Well, for one, I'm going to have a good time. I'm with you. It's always a party with you. So that's the perks. Two, I definitely love the passion you had for the project. It was something that resonated with you and me. It goes with my past experiences. The book I wrote was a lot along the lines of what you were trying to get across. So I was all on board with that. And I knew it was something that would really help a lot of people.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I just have a passion for helping people, but helping women, right? Because as women, we tend to give so much of ourselves. Mujeres, we're always doing everything. We're the mamas, we're the spouse, we're sometimes the breadwinner in the family, and keeping the peace, keeping the fun, and doing all the things that we have to do. But I have even found in my own life that I lost kind of my passion in things that I wanted to be when I grew up, right? Or in what I wanted to do in my life, even while I was raising my children. So this really just made me feel like there are so many women who have gone through different experiences in their life and have kind of lost themselves, lost their voice. And I really have a passion to help them find it again, because I believe every woman deserves to take up space, right? We are humans. Every human deserves to take up space in the world. And I'll make that caveat, except for all the wicked, evil people. We can get rid of those. Get rid of them. but for the most part, I do believe that we should take up space, and we should own that space, and we should feel comfortable in that space and who we are and what we are and what we want to be. So I'm super excited to be doing this podcast, this show, and especially with you because, being sisters, we grew up a little bit crazy, with a lot of Latinas. So this show is really we're going to listen, ladies. I'm opinionated. Okay. You may not always like what I have to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I'm that friend. I'm that girl that says all the things that everyone's thinking, but they don't say because they're too kind. I'm not. I'm that girl. I will say the things. Yeah. And not because I'm trying to be rude or a jerk, but because it needs to be said, because it needs to be put out in the universe. It needs to be heard and then acted upon, because it could help someone. I could be that voice. You could be that voice to change someone's life for the better. And that's why I'm such a believer in this show, and also in just helping women rise above and finding their confidence. So let me ask you a question, Di.
Sure.
So have you ever felt in your life where a period of your life where you've ever felt a lack of confidence? Now, I say that because we're Latinas, right? We own our space, ladies. That's just what we do. We very proud of who we are, and who, we don't allow people to shift us or move us. However, even as a Latina, have you ever had that lack of confidence?
Absolutely. I feel like most people, and not all, but most people are great at giving outward confidence, the outward appearance of confidence. Like we're like, well, fake it till you make it type of deal. But inwardly, a lot of times, many of us struggle silently with confidence. Myself, I definitely have always wondered, like, oh, am I good enough to do that? Like, am I going to fail or succeed at that? Like, do I really have what it takes? And I can kind of think that that's stuff that plagues all people in general. Like you always have a little voice that tries to like negative talk to you. So I
Yes,
think confidence is always good for everybody to kind of like boost back up.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel like you need like, as women, we have all different kinds of friends.
Yeah.
You always need that friend who's going to be like, no, you got this, girl, you got this,
Right.
you can do this, right? I feel like I'm that friend for all my friends and my sisters, but even myself, I go through bouts of lack of confidence. As confident, if anybody who knows me knows me, I'm a very confident person, and I
Yes.
portray a lot of confidence, right? Both in the business world, in my personal world, in my life as a mother, all of it. However, as my sisters will definitely testify to the fact that I will call them and be like, I need help. I don't believe in who I am anymore. Help me. Um, and they boost my confidence. So, that I believe that every woman needs a friend to be that person, and that we need to learn how to also be that person for others and for
Definitely.
ourselves, right? So, what would you say? What are some of the things that maybe in your life, and I'll talk about mine as well, has helped you to either help yourself with confidence or be that person, like I know you have been for me, to boost my confidence?
Um, so for me, definitely having the right support group.
Mm,
So whether it be family or friends or your immediate people that you're around, it could even be a coworker who you have a bestie coworker everywhere you go, always.
yeah.
Um, and that's what makes like the day bearable at your job. But having that support group is definitely essential. For me, definitely my family is a very big backbone. I know that I can count and rely on our family. Our family's good about that. So I have that privilege, thankfully.
Mm,
And also kind of like tapping into an alter ego sometimes of, kind of psyching myself back up. Like, yeah, I got this. I know I can do this. I know who I am. I'm
yeah.
that girl. I got this.
That's right. No, I love that. I love that you say that because I talk a lot about in my coaching programs, I talk a lot about mindset, right?
Mhm.
A lot of times, the lack of confidence, from my experience and in working with other women, what I have seen is that lack of confidence comes from something that's happened in the past. Right. So it could be a childhood trauma, and issues either with relationships with your parents or with your siblings or others, right?
Yep.
Friendships or whatever, or just relationships in general. Like maybe you've been divorced and maybe you were the one that was let go of, right? I had a meeting with a client a few weeks ago, and she was just really struggling with a lack of confidence. And so we sat down together, and a few things, I just started to ask her questions like, why have you started to feel this way? When did you start to feel this way? And as we're talking, and I'm just asking just questions, and just
Right.
like, I'm not really speaking a lot, but just asking questions is a great way to really delve deep into figuring out what's really happening, right? Because it's never surface. It's never really like, oh, I'm just not confident. No, there is something going on that hasn't been addressed that's bringing up the lack of confidence that you're having and what you're feeling, right? So we get down deep, and it come to find out that, yeah, she was divorced. Her ex-husband had left her for someone else. And so she felt the like she was worthless. She wasn't good enough. Um, and so, and it was just trigger moments that tend to happen throughout our lives that we reminisce about something. Maybe it's a song, it's a smell, it's a place, and it reminds us of that relationship, of that time.
Right.
and and will negatively impact us, in different ways. And in this specific way, it was just she wasn't feeling confident. She has a business, she's successful, she's doing amazing, right? But she still just didn't feel good enough. And a lot of times we as women, and really anybody, but specifically speaking with women today, is we haven't addressed, and this was the thing that I helped her to see, was you're feeling this way because you've never really addressed what happened in your
Right.
divorce. It happened. You just try to survive it and live through it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Without, before you move on, you got to address and fix and heal, right? Before you accept that person's reality of what they're said about what you are and why you weren't good enough for them, right?
Yes.
So that was super interesting. So, what would you say to someone who is feeling having this lack of confidence, not being able to find their voice? What are some things or suggestions you would give? Because I know you and I have dealt with this before in the past, that you would give to another woman to say, hey, look at these things or try some of these things.
Well, I definitely believe that everything comes from something. So, like you said, the things that have negatively impacted us in our life or childhood is probably most likely where it's triggered from.
Yeah.
But I think what I would say regarding it would be, to look at all the things that you have accomplished. So look at the positives, because a lot of times we worry about all the things that could, like what if, what if, what if, and we forget to look at, well, what did I do? Oh, that's right. I've done this. I've done that. I've done this. And
Yeah.
that's a key factor in reminding you of your abilities.
Oh, I love it. I love that you said that. So I do a lot of coaching, as I mentioned. That's one of the things that we talk about. It's like, okay, I say, I want you to write down an accomplishment list.
Mm-hmm.
What have you accomplished in your life? And I'm talking about go way back as far as you can remember
Mm-hmm.
from childhood, a trophy that you won, a contest that you won, a ribbon that you got, all these different things up to date, right? Write them all down. And I actually like to put them on a Google sheet so that when I'm having a funk, there's a really great mentor that I follow. He's a business mentor, Howard Partridge, and he always says, when you get stinking thinking, you need to check up from the neck up, right? And I love that because it's so true, because mindset is something that you need every single day. You don't
Yes.
just wake up like, "Lord, I'm so
No,
happy." Like, I mean, that would be awesome. And maybe some days, yes, I do wake up like, maybe when I was
yes,
single
you
and
do.
more when I was single and didn't have kids. But
That's how she used to wake me up for school, guys. It's school, wake up. And I was like, get out of my room.
yeah, you need that positive person to wake you up. So anyway, so I do believe that you need that accomplishment list. You need that mind check, that mind shift that lets you remind yourself, right? Because we will whatever dream, like let's just pretend we have bad dreams at night. Well,
Yeah.
dang, that's going to shift our mind, right? And reset us to like, oh, all negativity and bad things. So mindset is an everyday thing that needs to happen. So being able to go look at your accomplishment list, open it up and be like, man, yeah, you gotta hype yourself up. I go do a lot of public speaking, and I was in one group. I was talking to an empowerment women's group, and I said, listen, before I come here, I put on my Latina music, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm going down, and I'm like, I'm hyping myself up, ready for this. Matter of fact, I got my Latina music on right now. Okay.
But I think a key factor is mood. So, like, yes, a positive mindset, but a feeling, because you can have talk yourself into something, but you still don't feel it. So you're like, you're faking it till you make it. And that kind of does. But when you make yourself feel good by like listening to music or whatever makes you really feel good, the mindset with the vibe of that vibration, that's an upper vibration combined, is a killer factor. Like you can't compete against that. No one can beat that.
That's right. That's right. And it is key. Like, I feel like a lot of us women, especially because we're so busy, and even more so when you're a businesswoman, when you're a mom or anything like that, right? You got more than just you in your life.
Yeah.
We tend to push down our tragedy, our past, our things, instead of fixing them and healing from them and working with them and trying to get rid of them. So what would you say to women who maybe they're feeling this lack of confidence? What are some of the things that you would say, like, hey, take a look at a few things to see how you can pinpoint what it is, and then how to start working on healing from that?
I would say reflect and address. So you have to sit in your quiet space, even if it's just a moment,
Mm,
whether you're in the shower or whatever you're doing. Anytime you can get a little space of alone time, and really, when you're feeling a certain way, kind of think back to where that's stemming from and what you can do to really resolve it. Because it's not a quick fix. It's not something you can just fix overnight, but until you really address it, it's going to plague you. So, really kind of finding the root work of where that, feeling stems from, so that you can, okay, now I know what it is. So, what can I do to combat that? But
yeah.
if you don't know where it's coming from, it's going to constantly plague you. So,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. If you don't address where that lack of confidence is coming from, it's going to affect all the different aspects of the relationships that you have, right? Whether it's with your spouse, your family, your children, and then even yourself, right? Because then you feel like you can't do anything because you're not good enough at all. So
right,
and then people, like, if it starts to turn into a negative thing, then people don't want to hang out with you, right? Because
right.
nobody wants to hang out with Debbie Downer. That's just the truth. Like, it, even when I'm in a sucky place, I don't want to hang out with more sucky people. Like, I need people that are going to be like, I know life sucks for you right now, but
Right.
let's have some fun. Let's make you feel good. Let's get you out of that funk, right? Let's at least try, and at least for the moment, it can help me to see that life can be better if I
Mhm.
address it and make it better,
Yeah.
right? Like what you were talking about. Um, yeah, so that's really like a lot of what this show is going to be about, ladies. It's going to be about addressing our confidence. We're going to share intimate stories. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to have fun. And it's going to have a twist with a little Latina. Latinas are known to be opinionated and
And passionate.
and
So we might
tactless.
cry, but we'll laugh too.
We'll laugh, cry. Did you say and tactless?
Huh?
Tactless? Did you say and tactless?
Oh,
We have
sometimes, but I said passionate.
Oh, and oh yeah. So yeah, we have very little tact, but super, super passionate. Okay, for sure. I tend to be the one that they're like, "Do you have a filter?" Like
It's
this
not
one.
on today.
Yeah,
Oh,
I forgot to turn it on. So if you're looking for someone to help motivate you, to help you find your confidence, to help you find your voice, that is what this show is all about. So like, share, subscribe, share your stories, leave your comments. We're going to share them. We want to be a support system for you,
definitely.
to help you find that confidence again. Or maybe for the first time, you deserve to have a voice. You absolutely 100% matter to this world and to the people in your world. So it's important that you're not lost in it, but that you find yourself and that you share your story, because everyone, you never know that your story, how your story is going to affect someone else, including us. So that's what this show is all about. We are super excited to have you here. Share this channel with other women that you believe can find some support and help here. Again, this is going to be all Latina, a little bit crazy, because all you need is one Latina in your life, and we end up staying for life, right?
Yep.
So we're going to share some stories with you, and we are excited that you're here. Again, welcome to the Let's Get Latin, Let's Get Loud show. We are here to be your support, to be your coach, to help you through whatever tough times you find yourself in. we're going to be that voice that you can vent to, listen to, share with, all the craziness as mothers, ladies, women.
It's going to be exciting. You got to stay tuned. You
That's
got
right.
to.
Stay
It's going to
tuned.
be spicy.
It's going to get real spicy sometimes. All right. We will see you. Thanks for listening in. We're super excited to have you, Di. Thanks for being here. And we will see you on the next episode. Talk to you soon.